Sorry, we have to get that teed up. So I'll do a little soliloquy here first, because obviously the sources are the same. Students pay tuition, students pay fees. You pay tuition, and it covers a lot of things. You pay fees, and I'll come back to it, because I need to go through this formally. But if you pay fees, they are allocated, they are expended in these categories. That is not true for tuition. So I need you to understand and listen to these mandatory hearings separately. We've just talked about tuition, now we're going to talk about fees. So same thing. This has even more consideration, and the proposed increases in student fees comes directly initiated from a number of, not legislative actions, but student actions. So student government gets together with any of the areas that propose fee increases and listens before there's any engagement with administration. In this case, this year student government sends a memo and says, here's what we recommend. As president, I can choose to accept that or alter it. This year, we just accepted that memo completely. So no changes were made. So we requested, we are requesting a 1.4%, and I'll go through the details, increase for the Logan campus, and no student fee increases for the statewide campus. A reminder that these are somewhat separate processes, and next year you'll actually see them really codified as separate processes associated with some changes that USU has made to its policy. So we will have a policy on student fees for Logan campus, a policy on student fees for statewide campuses, and we will follow those policies to come up with two different recommendations for Logan and statewide campus fees. Each dollar of proposed increase will directly benefit students in the following areas, and again, I'll go into details. We've only seen requests for increases in buildings, athletics, and transportation. So a few examples: replacement of identified equipment at the Aggie Rec, USU mandatory operations and maintenance and staffing at recreation centers, new transportation and shuttle buses for greater accessibility, for ADA compliance. There are other areas supported by student fees, but it was determined by students that those were sufficiently supported, including activities, technology, campus rec, library services, and music and theater. And you'll see how these fell out. Just pointing out, the first meeting on student fee increases was January 17th. We are now at March 5th. We will go through March 8th for the Board of Trustees and March 22nd for the Utah Board of Higher Education. So proposed increases at the Logan campus, 1.4%, no increase proposed for statewide. And this is a general overview. These are fees per semester. You can see the 2023-2024 current fee in the fee description categories. You can see that if you go to the third column, we are proposing a change in the building fee, the athletics fee, and the Aggie shuttle fee, and the percentages: 2.2% for the building fee, 1.8% for athletics, and 5.2% for Aggie shuttle. No proposed changes in other areas. There are existing fees in those areas, and you can see them there, but they are not proposed to be changed. Statewide campuses, this just shows you what the fees are. There are no proposed changes. In activity building and instructional support, those are the relevant fee areas for statewide campus. USU Eastern is proposing no change in the total, but moving $10 of student fee from activity to athletics to support athletics more than activity has been supported. So there's no change, but there's a proposed redistribution. Blanding campus, this is just the fees as they stand today, no proposed changes. And then tech ed, reminding you that this is per credit hour, not per semester, as these fees are, which is why it looks different. There's no proposed fee change for tech ed. Questions for me on that one? And I've asked Abe to join me because he was leading so much of the student adjudication of the process. Any online questions on fees? Questions? Fee questions? Any comments, Abe? No. Think about it. This is our moment. I will say, when I came here, this amount of input, starting with students, going from the Student Fee Advisory Board to the USUSA Executive Council, is really unusual in my experience. Driving these fee increase requests directly from students is something I hope you appreciate. I think it works pretty well. It takes a while. It takes a few months here, but I think it's a good process personally, and I'm pleased that it's not something I would ever change at this university. So questions again. Any questions on the fee structure, the proposed increases? Anything from the outer world? Okay. So I'm going to open it up if there are, just if anybody had a go back on tuition, meaning I thought about it and I have another question. I'm going to wait just a minute or two to see if anybody from online remembers that they had a question that they didn't ask. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing with fees. Whoops. Look at the picture of beautiful campus. Any lack of clarity on how we do this? If anybody's interested in the actual policies, I'm happy to send them to you. They're not long, but they read like a policy. They're scintillating. But they do, tell us what process to follow and how to get to this point. And this point is absolutely necessary before we can go to trustees and forward on to USU. So, other questions? Otherwise, I'm gonna wave my magic wand and say we have done good. I thank you for your participation, for all of you that played a significant role, particularly in the fee determination. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate those of you that, we do have a question, that listened when in the meetings where I went into great detail about how our tuition determinations are made. Yes, we have a question.
So from online it says, what about the new book fee for 2024-25? Currently, I believe students have it covered with the fees. Don't know what
the new book fee? Aggie Access is covered with student fees? I don't think that's a student fee. I'm going to just go out on a limb as a new president who actually doesn't know everything yet, but I'm going to guess that's not a student fee, that is a course fee, which are different, is my guess. Does that sound about right? Looking at so it's not a student fee, so it's not part of this fee determination program. It's a course fee. It's a good question. All right. I'm going to let us hang out with people online in case because you weren't in the room to see my beautiful face. And if you have questions, we'll give it a couple more minutes. And otherwise, thank you for, this is actually much, I've heard there are some years where not very many people are in the room, and we're speaking to the remote audience mostly, but I thank you all for showing up, and I appreciate you. Another one, see? There's an online question.
It's just concurring with Aggie Access. So
okay,
yes.
Good. All right, it is Aggie Access.
Say that Aggie Access isn't part of student fees. Where would we go to ask questions about that?
It's not part of student fees, it's part of course fees.
Right, so where would we go to ask questions about that?
Tell me what question you have and I'll try and get it answered for you.
Well, I've just heard a lot of confusion about how it was passed and how it came about. I mean, just almost happened overnight, even. Like there was no faculty senate or there was no USUSA Senate vote over it?
So that would tell me that we don't have the authority or the policy that's a fee that is a direct mandate one way or another. I have a feeling it's a textbook material fee, yeah. That did not come, that's not something we get to determine. It probably can't, no, yeah, I mean, not prepared for that one, but
Right.
I haven't seen any material on something that would be votable or have required meeting associated with it. I have heard faculty talking about this one as well, so it's not just student consternation.
And I don't mind not.
No.
being answered
I
right
will
now.
find the answer out for you. And Abe, if I could give that to you and let you sort of go out somehow through student government I'll find out the answer for how. I think really the question is, what was the birth of that, and what were any policies associated with its attribution and just landing in your bill one way or another. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I'll find out.
Thank you.
Yeah, and reminder, there's lots of things I won't know the answer to, but the more detail you can give me about your questions, the more I can get somebody to help me find out. See, if we wait long enough, you keep thinking about new questions. I don't want to keep people a really long time either, so I'm happy to end it here. All right, everyone, thank you so much for attending. We'll be back next year, and it'll look similar to this. But you all know, and you've heard from me before, that we need to figure out how to get alternative revenues for the university, so when something like this happens, we don't have to raise tuition. I am working on it. Thanks, everyone.